Hello and welcome to Cutting Words. I'm Brad Thompson, and today we're going to look at the Beadle Grimm's Presents Fairy Tales from the Warehouse. This is three bonus encounters for Wild One Witchlight that comes within the Silver Edition box set for Wild One Witchlight that they supply on their website. I did an unboxing video covering the contents of the Silver Edition box set for Wild One Witchlight. There will be a link to that popping up on a little eye symbol above me in the video here for you to click on if you want to check that out. But today we're going to just look at the three encounters that come within, the three bonus encounters that you can take and add to your Wild One Witchlight adventure to flesh out your travels around Prismere. Alright, so the three encounters are, so the first one, so there's one per a zone, a different Feywild section of Prismere. There is the first one here, which takes place in the swampy domain of Hither, Yon, yes. Hither and Thither. I always get those names mixed up. Yeah, the first one, the swampy one. And this one is set in this lagoon with a serpent creature. So they kind of picked a different section of the map, that fantastic map of Prismere, and picked one of the little artwork sections that were never expanded upon, and they kind of took that and added that within for expanding upon and making a little adventure hook for this little side encounter. So the first one here is the Leviathan of Lilac Lagoon. This is all about that little serpent creature that resides in the lake there. So this is designed to be run during Chapter 2 when the players are running around in Hither. Or they could potentially go there later on after completing the adventure, doing follow-up things around Prismere. So you got some encounter hooks listed here. We've got Slate Jawed Lorna's weakness. So Sir Talavar claims that a redcap named Hogweed Butterboots knows Bavorna's secret weakness. It's that Widdershins weakness she has. You run around a circle around her and she sneezes and can't do anything, which is a good way to defeat her early on. Which is quite good. I quite like that hook actually, because I feel like that her weakness was probably the least seeded of the weaknesses of the Hag Sisters in the adventure. Like, nothing's jumping on my mind from the adventure that there was really any obvious hooks there to figure out that weakness, at least early on. I think later on we meet the other hags and eventually you get linked back to her weakness. But if you wanted to take her out early, you want the players to have an option to be able to figure out that weakness early on and take her out early in the adventure. This is a good encounter for that. So Sir Talavar can point the players to check out that direction. Otherwise, they got here Vala's Call's Strongheart tells the characters a redcap named Finch spotted an escaped member of the League of Benevolence in the Light Lagoon and sends them off to investigate. It's a bit of a weaker hook there, personally. Otherwise, Zabilna, after being freed, basically lists the characters to help go around fixing up Prismere, and so asks them to go investigate this foul-smelling lagoon to fix up the water around Prismere. Anyway, so basically, the encounter goes, the players arrive at this lagoon, being sent there by one of his various hooks, and they meet Hogweed Butterboots, a redcap in a little shack on that island there on this lagoon. And uncharacteristically for redcap, he is less murdery, more just chatty and which I don't know. I feel like that doesn't quite match up with redcap lore, so you might want to change it from redcap. I see no reason why this redcap and also the other redcap that you'll soon hear about, the redcap's partner. He is also a redcap. I feel like they both could easily be a different feral creature, and it would make more sense, personally. But up to you. So anyway, we got this redcap, and who's very bad at poetry, and he attempts to rhyme away and tell the players how he won't give out the information. He knows the weakness. He'll trade that information to the players if they go investigate his missing husband who's gone missing. This other redcap who went off fishing in the lagoon and hasn't returned. It's been several days. And so they go off. The players go off on the boat. They have a little encounter, going through garbage and things in the lagoon, sailing along, and fend off some band of hungry quicklings that can be fed or just fought. Quicklings being the same stats as the Lormlings that Bavona has, and personally I think quicklings are quite tough. They have quite pain, but yeah, so it's really fun to encounter. There's only a few of them, and they can be dissuaded from attacking the players with food because they're just hungry. It's a nice option there, and eventually they arrive to find Finch, the missing redcap, to bring back, and he's fishing. But as they arrive, unfortunately, this redcap has bit off more than he can chew, and a giant Leviathan serpent creature, which uses the stats for a young black dragon with some modifications. So it's quite a tough creature, not one for players to be fighting. Comes up and devours him whole. And so the players need to basically get this Leviathan to spit up this redcap, who's fine. Currently, the stomach is low digestive or something. He'll be fine there for a little while. Very Geppetto from Pinocchio. So the players have some options there. They could fight it, but depending when you run this, especially if it was level 2, don't want to do that. And so the players can notice that there is actually a rusted sword sticking out of the creature's mouth and stuck between its teeth, causing it great pain. And so they can pretty much like a thorn in a lion kind of thing. So they can get in there and heal it or pull the sword out. There's a few options they can do, various healing magics or do some strength checks and whatnot to pull the sword out, heal the wound, and then so we'll be happy enough to spit up this redcap and be on its way. And with that, players can go back, complete the quest, easy peasy, and get Lorna's weakness, or if they doing the other plot hooks, they get some kind of dead end lead, or what have you for Vala's call, or Zelborna, thanks them for checking out the Lagoon for her. So yeah, I definitely feel like it's a solid one for finding out Bavona's weakness early on. I think it's quite a good use of that. And yeah, solid encounter otherwise. Does all the fairy tale tropes quite well. Yes, I'm pretty happy with that one. Simple, effective. Alright, so next one is Glitter Hill. So this is an encounter in Thither, the forest domain, where Skibber the Nightshade resides. So in this one, the encounter hooks are anytime while in Thither, the party spots a brass dragon wormling with a tiny wooden hut strapped to its back, flying in the direction of Glitter Hill. Or the Pixies, from the Pixies, a random encounter in Thither recognizes the character that bears a resemblance to the carving and implore the character to accompany them to Glitter Hill, help the Pixies regain their ability to fly. All the other hookers at the end of the adventure, Strongheart offers one or more of the characters' memberships into Vala's Call and requests that they travel to Glitter Hill to help a village of Pixies have lost their power to flight. So yeah, so the first two hooks I think is quite good for the early ones there, where either the random Pixies encounter, the Pixie Tea Party there, or the spotting a brass dragon wormling and see if that entices players to go investigate will work quite well. So the Glitter Hill is basically this place where the Pixies lost the ability to fly. There's one ruler Pixie who's taking all their power of flight from the Pixies here and convinced them all that about great prophecy by doing a carving on Glitter Hill, which is this floating mountain that's flying now because of the Pixie magics in the mountain now from the Pixie flight. Anyway, so there's now a floating hill that has a carving on it of someone, and they convinced the Pixies that this is the chosen one with the wait for the prophecy, but until then, give me all your fairy magic for me to look after or what have you. It's, yeah. Sure. But anyway, the comic coincidence is that one of the players actually resembles this carving that this fairy made up and kind of carved there randomly, and it happened to, by pure happenstance, appear to be one of the players. Maybe with a slight difference. There's a little table here of different inaccuracies in this carving. Maybe like there's a wart or a missing tooth or moustache or something on the picture, so it's slightly off. But otherwise, they match up pretty good. And so the pixies all rejoice, saying the chosen one's here, you're the chosen one. And therefore prepare, apparently the chosen one is to be married to this evil pixie ruler, who so they go about doing all different activities to prepare for the ceremony, the grand ceremony, and eventually they meet Finkel, the pixie leader, and Pumpkin, the brass string whirling mount companion of theirs, who's not happy about this at all. Yes, and because they don't want to give up all this power. This is a long, great con for them, and it's been going great until these shenanigans. So yes, there's options here for obviously fighting Pumpkin and Finkel, or there's options for luring Pumpkin away with food, as well as a common thing. Apparently, food solves all problems, and as well as encouraging the Pixies of uprising at the Pixies to overthrow this Finkel character, who's in their chosen one status there. There's also a nice clue table here, which I quite like. The carving clues of what's going on with this carving and the magic drawing the flight from the fairies and all that. So there's different rankings on this chart here of different levels of DCs and different skill checks they can do and what level of detail and information they can get, which I quite like. That having all nicely divvied up for the DM there. That's quite a cool little table of clues. But yes, otherwise, however players decide to handle it, the conclusion is that the players prevail over Finkel. They restore the Pixies with wing magic. The village of Little Hill erupts in a celebration feast. In addition, the Pixies offer the characters the potion of flying in a 2-inch long wand that can cast Polymorph once and does not recharge. Yeah. And that's basically it. So it's pretty simple. I mean, it doesn't really tie into anything else going on. So you can take it or leave it, that one. That's quite an easy one. You can drop in if you feel like you need to add more in thither. Got a bit extra session time going on. But yeah, bit of a laugh, bit of fixies. It's alright, that one. Again, I like the table here of carving different clues for the carving there and the magic going on. Alright, and the final one, we have Rhuvar's Windmill. So this is set in that windmill that's on top of the map there, above the castle in the smoke, the fog. By the castle in Yon there. So this bonus encounter is designed for characters of 5th level or higher. So they'll naturally probably get here from Yon. Where like any time the characters in Yon, they can be swept there by that whirlwind random encounter. Or at the end of the adventure, Strongheart gets them to go investigate what's going on in the windmill. Or Zilberna and his characters to basically go investigate the windmill, make sure it's been sabotaged by the hag. So basically this windmill is responsible for all the Feywild mist and keeping that going around, separating Prismere and the rest of things. So yeah, that's apparently helping with that. So this windmill, basically what's going on with it is there is this storm giant, he's a young storm giant. He's got stats with hill giant, with some modifications, and he's been left in charge while his parents have gone away, and he's basically run into some problems here, and the windmill stopped working, and he's desperately trying to get everything fixed before his parents get home. And so he is kidnapping people by hook or by crook, and getting people to try and work on his windmill, fix his problem, and not letting anyone leave until it's fixed. And all this needs to be done before his parents get home. Simple enough. The complication is all the gears in this windmill are apparently made up of evil pixies. The pixies are broken the law of Prismere or done something bad, and apparently they get sent here and they get polymorphed into gears to help run this windmill, and they get slotted in. And apparently he's befriended 2 of the gears, and he's freed them from imprisonment. So he's got these 2 pixies that are trying to give him bad advice all the time. You know, he thinks they're his friends, and they're part of the problem. Players need to get these pixies back into gears. It's one of the main problems why that windmill's not working. As well as the pixies convinced him to make a distillery to make some good mead of sorts, and so some bits of the windmill being harvested to build the distillery. So that needs to be dismantled and put in as well. So it's a bit of a basically the players, when they arrive here, they get allowed to leave, and they can work with other prisoners and kind of talk around, investigate what's going on, figure out that those pixie advisors need to be actually gears, need to be put back, need to undo the distillery, and eventually convince this storm giant guy to be compliant and get this going, and before the parents get home. And yes, there's a bit of a social investigation kind of set up here, with possible combat with some pixies. Well, unlikely with the Storm Giant Kid. I mean, I guess it's possible. The players are not very gung-ho about it, but it's not a great outcome in the end. So obviously his parents will come home and not be too happy about that. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it. So a bit of investigation, bit of social convincing, and yeah, and eventually you end up with once it's all fixed and the parents come home, then they can be awarded some remnants of this flagon of special brew that counts as a potion of heroism, but also reduces your wisdom score temporarily, and makes the character here stay on in for a number of days, as it is a very electric drink as well, being a storm giant brew. But yeah, that's that. So that one again is another one that doesn't really tie into anything, but it's just a fun little extra one you can throw in there to spice up an adventure. You got a gap in the fill, you'll see more in there. This one is a bit more removed than the other two, completely from, because it's not even technically in Yon or anywhere like that, it's just kind of off by itself. But if players were very curious about what the hell's going on with this windmill on this map, well, there we go, there's something you can run there. So yeah, those are the 3 bonus encounters that come with the silver box set of Wobble Witchlight from Beadle Grimm. So yeah, if you're interested in those types of encounters, they do a bunch of these with each kind of adventure set that comes out. So you can check them out at beadlesandgrimms.com. All right. Yeah. Overall, yeah, I think they're pretty solid encounters to do the job. I think like the first one is the strongest, just because it helps tie in more with the adventure and feed into the overall story. The Leviathan, Lilac, Lagoon. I think that's my favorite of the 3. All right. I'm Brad Thompson, and this has been Cutting Words. If you like these videos, consider subscribing. It really helps the channel. You should get these videos popping up on your feed. You don't miss them. It's pretty great. I highly recommend it. Please consider it. Maybe. Yes. Maybe. Otherwise, yeah, I'll catch you next time on Cutting Words. See ya.